Excellent. So we are moving quickly through this year, which is awesome and also a little scary. Those of you who had kids start school, did everybody have kids start school that's got kids? It has been a hectic time for you this month. Trying to keep up your business, trying to get your kids in school, trying to make it all just function right now. And so, kudos to you. It is a crazy time of year. And we still have a good solid 3, 4 months left to make an impact on this year. So we'll start this morning. If anyone's got any shout outs, any gratitude, any announcements that they want to make, this is your time. Just pop your hand up or speak up, and we will start with that. I've got an announcement. Jeanette has a class today. She's awesome, you guys. If you haven't learned from Jeanette yet, she's got an amazing training. It's her monthly workshop, Elevate Your Potential Price Point and Profit. And it is a timely subject. It is on expired and withdrawns. And I've got to tell you, between 2008 and 2010, Jeanette earned $2.3 million in commissions, not 2.3 volume, 2.3 million in commission from expireds and withdrawn. So I am going to pop that link into chat for anyone who is interested. She has opened it up and it is from 10 to 12 today. So if you want a recording, I don't know if she records or not, you're going to reach out to her, Jeanette Spinelli. I'll put the link in a little bit later as well. But 2.3 million in commissions, guys, between 2008 and 2010 from expires and withdrawns. We're in that kind of crazy market now. So why not? All right. Shout outs, gratitude announcements going once, twice, sold. Okay. I've got my good friend joining us. I'm going to spotlight her for everyone because not everybody knows Miss Karen. Karen is an amazing friend of mine. She, when when did we meet? 2017 or 2016?
2016 at the mega camp because you had remember you had an open invitation for me.
Yes. Okay. So 2016, right before Mega Camp, I met this gal, and almost 10 years later, she is still in her life. I've watched her kids grow up. I've watched her business grow. It has been amazing. She helped my sister buy a beautiful luxury home in the Atlanta area. She is the real deal, and she has built an awesome business. Um, I'm going to let her tell her story. And the way this is going to go, she's going to tell her story. She's going to talk about how she built her business, primarily open houses. Those of you, I know we've got 3 camps in our group, right? We've got 87 people on, and everybody's they're doing their own thing, right? And that's really fine. We're running a business model, a business plan. I would encourage you, if you are not doing open houses, you're probably not controlling your price point, probably not controlling the quality of your client, probably not controlling the area that you work. So if any of those sound exciting to you, controlling your price point, controlling your client, and controlling the area you work in, I think you're gonna like what Karen's got to say. So, Karen, you are in Atlanta. How long have you been in the industry now?
19 and a half years.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we've got a veteran on the call. Would you say that, like, did you come into this wanting to be like awesome and a mega agent, or like how'd you come into this?
Well, I can jump right in if you'd like.
Yeah, I would love it.
Okay. Well, I will tell you guys that when I first started with Ben, I was what's called an unaware, inconsistent, and unsystemized successful real estate agent.
Oh, say that
Unaware,
again. Unaware.
unaware, inconsistent, and unsystemized successful real estate agent. What does that mean? I was making 50, 150, 200, 250, $300,000 a year. This was 20 years ago, right? So a lot of money, but I was not systemized. I was completely unaware of myself or anybody else. I had blinders on. I was 100% transactional, and I had no consistency. So I was really stressed out all the time. I'm a really fun person, but when I'm stressed out, I'm not as much fun. So something had to change. And the point is, this is not a long-term plan. You can have success, and a lot of people think, oh, I'm doing great. I don't have to follow all these systems. I don't have to do all these rules. And what happens is you have no external collaboration, you have no systematic methods, and you're inconsistent, and then you go burn out. That's what it happens. So a lot of people get out of the industry, they can't manage it. Even top producers, you sort of wonder what happened to them. Or the alternative is something dies in your world. You have a bad relationship with your kids, you lose your spouse, which is very, very common, or you're overweight, you're not managing your health. So my ultimate goal to tell you is that I'd like to be a productive, aware, systematic, consistent, successful real estate agent who is remaining married, has children, who wants to be around her, and has maintained her health for over 20 years. That's my goal to celebrate in April. I hope that makes sense. So as you all know, you're all very intelligent. You know, productivity is a result of focused attention and effort. Focused attention and effort. If you're going to drive in on two wheels and phone it in and show up and not take any benefit from what you're doing, then you're going to have some success. You're going to slap some things on the wall, but it's not consistent. The way that I learned to build a big business was to hold myself more accountable, have more people look at me, have more tracking. I built a team so that I could stop being a solo agent and be by myself and not show up to the office and different things like that. So right now I don't have a bunch of people on the team, and therefore I can spend time at home. Look at me. But it's not going to make me as successful as going into the office. Hopefully that makes sense. I have to know myself. I have to be aware of myself, my goals and my limitations. I have to be aware of myself, my goals and my limitations. That means that when I first started, I wanted to put food on the table and replicate the income I had made in corporate America. That was also a challenge my husband gave me. It was a sort of a threat. And that happened, but it took a little time. I was very nervous, and I'm telling you right now, your goals can be great and out there, but if you're not matching your behaviors in a focused effort with attention, you're not going to hit them. So you're going to constantly be chasing and not really achieve. But you have to know yourself. What are you looking to do? And what are you interested in achieving? And if you want those big, fat, audacious goals, you're going to have to do a lot of things on the lead gen lever. You're going to have to do a lot of them at a high level. Okay. If you're brand new, I certainly encourage you to try them all. It's not a menu, right? It's not a buffet. You know, you don't get to pick and choose. When you first start out, for the first 2 years, you should be doing all of it. It's like when you put your kids in sports. Do you know what sport they're going to like, or what instrument they're going to like? You have them try a bunch of different things and see what sticks. My corporate income, Adelina, when I left corporate America, I started corporate America, and I had my first opening salary when I was 24 years old was $50,000. After 10 years of corporate America, on which I consider myself unsuccessful, I made $100,000. So at age 34, I was making $100,000, which is very poor, very poor. And with an MBA, and I speak 4 languages. And so when I got into real estate, my husband said, if you can make 50,000 this year, because I started in May, we'll be good. So I made 50,000. And the next year he said, you have to make 100,000, and so on. So I'm always trying to increase the price point. There's a sweet spot for me. It's around 250 to 300,000 from my own production. Of course, there's other things that I can keep doing and striving for, but you're trying to manage a lot of different things. I have a senior in high school and a freshman in high school. And so this is going to be a very interesting year. When I think about what I'm capable of doing, it's far more than what I do. So I know that my goals are going to be very large. If you know me, I'm going to go 100%, 150% in whatever I do. And I can do that. It's the question of, what am I willing to do? What am I purposeful about doing? What am I planning and preparing for? And what am I willing to do to turn myself around and make sacrifices to get to that spot? If you think you're going to get there easy, it's just a wrong mindset. But I'm willing to learn, and that's 50% of the equation. I'm willing to learn about myself and improve myself and push myself. There are 3 things I want you to think about when you think about how you spend your time in your day. 33% inside of each of these 3 categories. You can write these down. It should be your mindset on any given day, your skill set on any given day, and your action set. Each one of those components, let's say over the course of a week, a month, should have 33%. Let's pretend you have the right mindset. If you work with Adelina, she's probably getting you there. You're coming to Power Ups. Let's just pretend that you have the right mindset, because that's a different conversation than today. The majority of agents, especially the unsuccessful ones, are spending 90% of their time in skill set. because that's an easy button. I'm studying, I'm taking a class on encapsulating my basement. I'm doing this, but they think that they're in motion. They think that they're in motion, but they're not productive. So if you're spending a ton of time in your skill set learning things, but you're not actually getting into action, that's like saying I'm going to a lot of soccer practices, but when the game time comes, I'm sitting on the bench. So you have to decide what type of person you want to be. Are you going to be a starter? Are you going to be special teams if you play sports? Are you going to be a second and third string? Are you going to ride the bench, or are you the water boy? And if you're just practicing and you're just learning and just learning and just learning and never get into action, you'll never get there. Action makes mistakes and learns from their mistakes. You can't be embarrassed. You're going to fail. You're going to lose, and you're going to cry. People are not going to pick you. That's okay. It happens. But if you won't get into action, you'll never get there. This means that practice counts as action. Practicing, as far as giving your listing presentation, to me is beyond a skill set. Now you're starting to get feedback. You're starting to fail. So you have to do these things, and then you shadow, and then you do your own listing presentations. You do your own routing. You get there late. You can't figure out how to open up a door. You show property for someone and you mess up. Those are all part of the action set. So the number one thing you can do is to manage those equivalent. Make sure you have the right mindset, but don't spend an enormous amount of time doing the skill set. Okay. And then I'm going to dive in, you guys. So to establish an understanding of how you are spending those three components, you should probably track your time. I'm sure that Adelina has a time tracker. If you can't get going in the morning, that's a mindset thing. If you can't show up to the office, that's a mindset thing. Those are not skill sets. So just analyze that for yourselves, and then decide, where would you like your business to come from, and what are you willing to do? If you're a brand new agent, I said you should tap into all the parts of the lead generation pie. If you're an existing agent, you should know where your business is coming from by tracking and analyzing. On any given week, you can look at Brivity and sort of see where your sources are coming from, what's working for you, what's not, and then allow other people to help you discover the gaps, because that's the only way we can get feedback. It has to be a 360-degree loop. Okay, I'm doing this, but I'm not getting the results I want. Well, that's just crazy, right? Then you have to have someone else say to you, you're not saying it right. Your tone is low. Your energy is low. You're not standing up straight. You have to be willing to receive the feedback on phone calls and the feedback in person. Okay, for someone like me, I've taken the time to know myself. I'm 53 years old, and I know that I have a great smile, and I walk into a room and I can light it up if I want to. If I'm not in a good mood, it's the opposite, right? But when I'm purposeful, I can turn on a room, and the room has to be not a chit-chat room. It has to be an intentional space where people want to do real estate, and that was the discovery for me, was open houses. If I walk into an open house or I'm leading an open house, I'm going to convert. It's just that simple. If I walk into a room and people start asking me about real estate, I'm going to convert. So you have to know yourself, what you like and what you're good at. They might not always be the same thing. You might like something, but you're never going to get business from it if you don't go in and try to turn it. Going back to the analogy of sports, if you like scoring goals, but you're not good at it, you're not going to score any goals. You can like it all day long. You have to sit there like Kobe or like somebody else and do all the shots before and after practice. I can probably tell there's some Navy SEALs in this room because they're not making eye contact with me right now. They're somewhere else in their heads. Those Navy SEALs probably practice before and after. They're very serious. They have script partners. They write things out. I wrote out my presentation today. I wrote it out by hand. Then I wrote it out on paper, and then I recited it to myself because I have a standard that I want to achieve for Adelina. She holds me accountable to be the very best that I can be. And then I want a standard for myself. I had another presentation. I didn't do as well. I didn't prep as much. Here I am. I'm going to do it differently this time. So know yourself. These are the next thing I want you to write down is CAACC. CAACC. This is what it stands for. Your business is based on the number of conversations, appointments, agreements, contracts, and closings. It's just 5 things. Your business is a result of CAACC, which is conversations, appointments, agreements, contracts, and closings. It's that simple. So within that gap, you have to figure out what am I having enough conversations? And if I am, are they quality conversations? What am I doing in those conversations that are not leading me to appointments? And then if you have a bunch of appointments, but you're not going to the next level. You have to figure out, what am I doing when I get there? Am I wearing the right thing? Am I holding myself up? Do I have the right prep materials? So conversations lead to appointments. Then I get to agreements. Well, I got all the appointments, but no one wants to sign with me. Well, why not? Do I sound intelligent? Do I have enough data points? Let someone else give you sort of some conversation about it and discuss it and analyze it for you. Then you go to the contract space. And then closings. I had an agent who would put so many things under contract, she wasn't able to close them because we discovered she wasn't having the advanced conversation about inspections and managing expectations, that sometimes, there are going to be things that are bruised. We're not interested in bruises. We're not interested in bumps. We're interested in broken bones. So if there are broken bones in the house, we're going to ask for those to be repaired, or we're going to ask for something in lieu of repairs. But we're not going to worry about the cosmetics, bumps, and bruises, okay? So once we changed and shifted that, we analyzed it. She was better, and she was able to get her contracts to close.
Much for me.
Awesome. So then when you figure all this out and you decide on your lead gen circle, what's important to you, what you're willing to do, what you want to go into, I'm going to talk to you about, where's the gap for me? I think the gap for me is definitely not in getting appointments. I get appointments. I'm going to come back to that, Adeline. I'm going to benchmark that for you because I have a transparent thing to share about that. Okay, I'm going to talk to you guys about open houses right now. I've decided that open houses are important to me, and I'm going to get success from it. As Adelina said, you can control your location, you can control your price point, and you can control which houses you open. Okay, if you do this in advance, here's how it's going to be successful. There's going to be 5 parts. 5 parts, okay? Here are the 5 parts. It's plan, identify, prep, and then during and after. Plan, identify, prep, during and after. And thank you, Adelina, for always putting these notes in here. It's really helpful. So first you have to plan. When you decide to do an open house, I think you should decide 7 days in advance, or maybe a month in advance, but you can't decide on a Thursday or Friday, I'm doing an open house this weekend. It's not going to work out. It's just not going to work out. So if I'm doing this in advance on the contest, I think we had 75 days one time. I went into my calendar and I prepped, I planned for 12 to 4 on Sundays and Saturdays. I put them in as a placeholder. It didn't always work out. And then I did 12 to 4 almost every other day because I wanted to front load. And I had 98 loaded, 98 open houses loaded. Well, you only needed 50 to win the contest, right? But I think I ended with far more than 50 because I'm always buffering. But I put that into my system, and I do it now too. At the beginning of the month, I put in what are my open houses that I'm doing that month, the time blocks. And that allows me to know that that's coming, Saturday or Sunday or both. You can go to whatever level you want. But I do look at a map, and I don't know if you guys have this on FMLS or MLS, you can track your office because we're allowed to do open houses for anybody in our office. I do a circular area that I want to go for, and I put in our office, and it shows me which houses are in there. And I call those agents on Sunday or Monday, and I say, I'd love to do an open house for you. They now know me. They know I have a contest going on. And they say, yes, we'd love to have you. Most of them don't want to do their own open houses. So I planned for a house that I think is going to be as new as possible. The first weekend is amazing. A lot of agents will do that for their own properties. But if you can get a first weekend, gosh, grab it. Then I do something that's in a great location. Like I said, I identified my location, but even more than that, I don't want to put out more than 4 signs. I don't want more than 4 turns. Why? I don't want to have someone go deep into a neighborhood to find me. So I will make sure that I'm only putting 4 turns or less. My very favorite open house was on a very busy road. It was all through October, November, and December. I was at the front of the road. It was a corner house, and it was actually election day, November 5th, and I had a ton of walkers going to a polling place, and they all came in before and after and checked in with me, and I had that open from 12 to 6. I almost passed out at the end. That was a really fun open house. We can do that. We can replicate. That was a Tuesday, PS. You can replicate that by looking on your calendar and saying, what's going on in the world? What's going on in this area? Is there going to be a festival? Is there going to be this? Does that make sense? We have a Dunwoody Festival coming up, and if I do a house around there that's a walking distance house, I'm going to get traffic. Get to be friendly with the agents in your office to see whoever's the open house distributors. You can do open houses from them. But I spend a lot of time planning. Planning is one of the most important parts because you also have to build in circle prospecting, making flyers, doing social media, posting that, deciding what content video you want to do there in the middle of it and after. So those are all important things. Guys, once you have a system going, it's not going to be hard. And I guarantee you have support on your team because Place provides us with administrative support. So these are all just things that you need to push a button for. Okay, so plan is number one, identify is number two. I kind of talked a little bit about this, but a lot of people try to find these open houses late in the day. I combined, I apologize, plan and identify. I kind of rolled them into each other, but you need to discover the locations that you want, the timeline that you want, and where it is as far as new to the market or a price drop. Those are all important things. Remember, you have to be deliberate about what your choices are. It's not a reactive situation. You have to be proactive, right? So the first thing is to plan your time in advance. The second thing is to identify the location. So sorry, I kind of combined those, but that's 1 and 2. Any questions on 1 and 2 about time blocking and making sure that you've planned for this in advance, the right amount of time, and identifying the open house that's good for you? If there's, I can't read the chat, so let me know.
Karen, how long does it take you usually to find one, to identify the correct one?
So very little time. So I set that search up, 7, 8 months ago when we first started doing it last year. And I said, okay, every day I get an email that says these are the houses in your area. These are the available houses. So let's say it's Sunday or Monday, I'll call them. And especially if it's an agent that I know really well, they already know I'm looking for an open house. So they sometimes will call me at this point. It doesn't take very long. You literally need to make 10 phone calls and you've got an open house. And if you have enough people that know you are interested in doing this, I always tell them I'm doing a contest, whether I'm doing one or not. They think I'm doing a forever contest, perpetual contest. And they want to help you. They do. It's funny. Okay, prep. So the mental game was plan and identify. That was the mental game, plan and identify. Analytical, yeah, forever contest. That's how I live. Also, I live like I'm poor. I pretend like I don't have money in the bank. I move things out of my checking account. So I psychologically think I'm on fumes, even though all of us, I'm not on fumes. And so, but if I trick my body into thinking that it is, it really works for me to go out there and hustle. Okay, I got too comfortable at one point in 2022, so shame on me. So prep is the physical game to the other stuff that was more mental. Your physical game has to be on point. That means that if you want to do an open house, you better start looking in the closet for those signs on Monday. You can't wait until Friday afternoon. So here's what I do with prep. I go and I route that house. I drive the routes from wherever I'm going to come from, my house. I open the door. Has anyone ever had trouble opening a door? I certainly don't want to do that on the day of. I open the door, I lock the door, I open up all the lights, I walk through the house, and then I say things like, this house smells like gas, or this house smells like dog. Then I bring my own air fresheners, or if I'm in collaboration with the agent, I bring them.
The real struggle. The real struggle.
It is a real struggle. So ultimately, I want to make sure that house has a great smell. It's very inviting. I want to make sure the light bulbs are all on. Does that make sense? So I'm offering a service to that listing agent, and it is, I think it's a service. I think it's a collaboration. They appreciate me. They are not looking at that house. There's cobwebs sometimes in a house, right? I don't know until I get there, and I don't want to do that on the day of. Did the locks work? Did the lights come on? Everything. Another fun fact, yay, I did an open house last weekend. I arrived at 1:30. I could not get the door to open because he gave me one key and there apparently needed 2 keys, one for the deadbolt, one for the regular. It was very hot. I'm in Atlanta, it's 113, fake. And then he didn't get there till 2:30 with 6 cars waiting outside. None of those people were willing to sign in or engage with me. They were very mad. So that is not a good idea. I don't know what happened there. I really don't, but that was my slip up. I'm just telling you so you don't have that. I just assumed the key was fine and it was my listing and I didn't even open it. Okay. Balloons and signs. I put a sign out on every turn. So if you're going to go left or right, or you have to make a decision point, I put a sign out. I'm pretty sure you guys have signs. I'm pretty sure someone's going to pay for those for you. Put them out. Balloons. I will pay for balloons for anybody on my team. I will let them go to Kroger or Publix and buy them if they need to. That's how I roll. I'm not saying that's how you guys roll. Or you can go to the office and you can blow them up with your own helium. I put three balloons on every sign because inevitably one dies or I lose one, happens. So I put 3 balloons on every sign. And then, so I get 12 to 20 balloons. It's not that expensive. And I put them out. I used to put them out in advance. I'm going to say this out loud. When I had a 2 o'clock open house or a 12 o'clock open house, I would get up if I was in my area at 7 a.m. and I would put them out. And I used to get the after church traffic. That is very impressive. I'm not that person right now. So I put them up, at 1 o'clock. Okay, I'm just owning that. But you need to have ribbon and balloons in advance. And I have too many agents show up at Thursday or Friday and wonder where they're going to get their stuff from. My answer is go buy it, go order it. I order my balloons the night before from the store. I pick them up. When I pick them up from the store, I get my lunch. This is all part of prep, you guys. I get my lunch, my water, my balloons, everything's in the car. All these people know me. I've got my name tag on. Because I want to get business. I have gotten business from the grocery store with my balloons walking through the grocery store because they know I'm a real estate agent. I've given out my cards. That's another prep thing. Do you have your cards ready? Are you able to be there? Do you have your sign-in sheets? Okay, I'm going to talk about sign-in sheets right now. And then have you put the open house in your app? Have you put the open house in your app? Okay, I have 3 more minutes to cut this up. It's important for you. This is the during part, number 4. It's important for you to start your app. You're there. And the reason why I don't have them check in on the app is because they often put incorrect information and I have no chance to check it before you press submit. So I make them write it out and I go like this. Jane, thank you so much for coming to our open house. Take a look around. I'm not going to follow you, but if you don't mind, please sign in here on the sheet. She signs in and then I literally pick it up and I say, Jane, is it jane@janedoe.com and 469-1315, and I recite it back to her and she has to correct me. Sometimes her stuff is unreadable. So I'm making sure that it's readable. And that's a covenant that I'm making with her that says, I'm probably going to call you. I'm probably going to email you. It's going to happen. That's what that subtext means, right? I can't verify it if they do it on the app. And then if there's time during the open house, I'm not following them around. If there's time, I load this into Brivity and I add a tag and I add a market report. If there's not time, I'm doing it after. And then I'm jumping over to after real quick for a second. Make sure all that stuff is in there. Make sure all the contact information is in there that we learned in the contest. So now we've changed behaviors and we're purposeful. We're doing it afterwards. I follow up with everyone the next day, not that day. And then I set an auto plan to follow up with them in the future. Here's a couple things I want to say about open houses during, okay? The most successful open houses for me is not based on the number of people that come through, but rather the quality of the conversations I have in there. Who am I making contact with? Who's attracted to me? Who are my people? It's irrelevant to me when they need to buy because I always will convert someone who's my person. So I'm really scanning the room and I'm doing a disc profile to scan the room of who are behaviorally people that want to be with me. Because if it's not tomorrow, it's in 6 months, it's in a year. I also look towards, if there's a couple, I'm a female, so I look to talk to the female more. I have gotten in trouble if I talk to the man more, even though he's the leader. If I exclude the female in that relationship, I end up excluding the whole relationship. They sometimes will pick someone else. So I'm a very dominant female, so I have to make sure that I make sure the female is equally involved in the conversation. I think it's the opposite when you're a man. You can look at that for yourselves. I have to adjust when people have family, friends. I have to make sure I'm running the room. So you guys should do mock open houses to see how, a person with conflict or a shy person comes up to you. How do you handle it, right? Just a couple of tips I would encourage you to know your disc profiles. I will be doing a course on this on Brivity pretty soon here. I'll do a 1-hour Brivity on this, Zoom on this. So I'll invite you all, but I'm able to identify if they're a dominant person, if they're more, computer oriented or analytical. And the last thing I'll tell you is to watch a show called Lie to Me. It's an incredible TV show. It's based on a true story, and it's about how to determine people's body languages with subtext, small micro expressions that they make where you can tell something's off, something's not off, and you can offer alternatives. Those are my 2 little hot tips for today. Any questions?
I'm curious, Karen, why is it that you reach out to them the next day versus that same day?
It's totally personal preference. I'm a little bit of a high energy person, so I've already kind of I have gotten better results waiting a day for things to settle down. And frankly, I don't have the time. So I'm already having a hard time loading them in the system and making sure that I honor that the 24-hour period. So I want another touch there the next day. Now, I don't know when that automatic market report or listing alert goes out, but that is a touch. But I will respond to them on text and call them the next day so that they know who I am, and I give them, sort of the same blurb, copy and paste.
What's your spiel when you call them?
Hey, Dan, we met yesterday at the open house, and they go, yeah. And I said, well, listen, I want to make sure you had my contact information. I really appreciate you leaving yours. Did you have current real estate needs? I couldn't remember if you were there browsing or what was going on. Yeah, we're going to be looking in the future. Okay, great. I'd love to stay in touch with you with permission and keep up with you. I sent you up on a market report so you sort of know what's going on in the area, and anything that comes up, please feel free to reach out to me. So that's my intro call. The next time I might leave a voicemail or call them or text them and say, did you ever find a house? Did you guys get into the market officially? So you always have a call to action question because they have to respond, right? And sometimes they want to shut you down. Oh, I'm not really looking. No need to send me any more stuff. Or unless I'm really bugging them and they like literally tell me cancel it, I don't cancel it. I leave them in watch. I leave the market reports and listing alerts on there. Sometimes people have already bought and they want me to leave the listing stuff on. But I'm going to keep them in my system, and it's going to be a slow drip of different things. I might send them an Area Pro message at some point. And that would be something I do once a quarter. Hey, this is what's going on in the market. Did you ever buy? But you always leave a question in there. It's a call to action. Is there a house you'd like to see? I would love to take you. I'm around. I'll be in your area on Thursday. I'll be back over there. Is there a house you wanted to see around the corner, or did you want to see that same house again? I don't take no for an answer. Does that make sense?
If you really connect with someone, do you push for getting together for showings?
I always do a consultation first, if I'm honest. The last 3 people that I'm working with right now for my open houses, I'll do something like, I can't wait to meet Travis. They have a partner. I'll say, when's a good time for us to jump on a Zoom and just talk, And my new thing is doing evening Zooms. So my kids are older now, but I will do a Zoom at 8 o'clock. People love an 8 o'clock Zoom. And they want to stay on for an hour and talk. And I didn't used to let people talk. I'd be like, let's go. What's the business? But now I'm more open to having a chit chat. Someone asked me, what do I do with people that are resistant to give their information? They're either resistant right now on one or the other. So they'll give you their email. Most of the time they'll give you their email and not their phone. And I just have to say, I'm not going to call you because I know you're having some resistance to this. I'm not going to call you. I'm very direct, right? So if they say something like, look, it's not for me, it's for the seller to track, and I'm actually going to rip up the sheet afterwards, and I won't call you. And I even show them, I'll say, I'll just cross your name out. If they don't want to be contacted, I won't contact them. I won't put them in if they have some sort of physicality. But what I will do is work on my skill of conversion to getting the activity to be done for me.
Why do you think you connect so well with people? Like, what is it?
I mean, when my energy is on, I think people know that I'm authentic and they know that I'm really there to help. I make mistakes. I say the wrong things. I probably talk too much, all those things, right? But what I do is I'm really real. I'm 100% exactly where I'm at right now. So that's why I think they connect with me. I used to think it was because I was intelligent, and it's not that. They actually don't even know if I'm intelligent. Does that make sense? I used to focus on trying to give them value and content, and I look too young. And now I'm just like, I'm here to help you. I had to move from sales to customer service. Some of you have to move from customer service to sales. You have to know yourself. Some of you are really, really just kind of too soft. I'm already like in your face. I have to soften. And when I softened to Karen 2.0, they're really into me. I have a lot of energy. Does that make sense? Like I have a lot of intensity. And so I have to be like, well, my physicality is really important, you guys. I don't come towards them anymore. I stand over here, my hands are down, and I wait for them to come towards me because it's powerful for them to come towards me. They want to be in the power position. They want to choose me, right? So again, figure out what type of person you are.
I love this, Karen, because for everyone listening, this is like Karen on like 20% energy right now. Like you are amazing, and wow, know thyself, right? Because if you are timid, you got to amp it up. And if you're Karen times 5, right? You got to like calm yourself down, and you got to know yourself, because you've got to connect with people.
Yeah, I did this presentation poorly last week to another group, and I decided after that, and I even wrote Ben an apology and said, some operators may call you. I did this presentation very poorly, but I'm going to redo it with Adelina very well. And I'm going to have the recording sent to them, and I'm going to make a personal apology, because sometimes you're on and sometimes you're not on. And I'll tell you about an open house. If you're on, you're magic. I'm a magician. I mean, they are like putty in my hands. And then if I'm like salivating, like, scarcity, they're not going to come towards me. I'm in a state of abundance right now. I'm at peace and I'm grounded. So people are going to travel to me.
I think what this reminds me of, Karen, is the fact that who we are and how we're feeling internally absolutely shows up externally. And if we're having a lack of results and we're doing the activity, first, if we're doing the activity, now, for some of us, we're not doing the activity or not doing the activity enough, right? Or consistently. But those of us who are doing the activity, if we're not getting the result, how often have you found that if you're off internally, there's a lack of results? Is that something that happens even to you? I mean, you got an MBA, like you're
Yeah.
good.
If I'm stressed out about something, typically in my marriage or my children, I'm not going to have a good open house. I should not show up. And I tell my agents this: if you're not going to have a good day and you're going to poison the crowd, don't come to work that day, or check yourself. So I have this immediate thing where I pinch myself. Like, I literally will pinch myself on my leg, snap out of it. I'm able to compartmentalize very quickly if I need to, but you must check yourself. And that goes back to being aware. If I'm not aware, I'm in a bad state of mind. That's the worst, right? Sometimes I can see it in an agent. This is why the lie to me thing and the disc thing is really important. An agent is trying to pretend like they're not tired or pretend like they have high energy. And I'll look at them and I'll feel them and I'll say, you're not having a great day. Do you want to stay? Do you want to shift your energy, or do you want to go home? And those are choices you make every single day. Every day that we have is a decision day. I'm going to decide to show up at 100%, 90%, 20%. Right? But you can shift in that exact moment. These are trigger moments. Give yourself a reason, slap yourself in the face, whatever it is that you need to check yourself to come back and show up for the right reasons. It's helpful to have a gratitude journal or some kind of like, these are my gratitudes, right? I carry this around 2022 to 2025, and I write in it whenever I feel like it. What am I grateful for? Man, we have a lot going on. Check yourself. If it's that bad, go get help. But if it's going to be something you can shift through, shift in the moment. If you signed up to do an open house, you should check your energy that day. I go to mass before my open houses at 10:30 every single Sunday. So I'm at noon in the open house, having just gone to mass. So that regulates you as well. You can pick whatever you need.
What if they have an agent? What if they say they have an agent?
They all say they have an agent. I don't believe any of them. So what?
Okay.
So here's the answer. I have an agent. Awesome. What's their name? If they don't know their name, or they say Joe and they can't come up with a last name, so you have an N. But let's say they say, my agent is Tina Hayes with Sotheby's. And I go, I know Tina. Sometimes I know Tina, sometimes I don't know Tina, but I say I know Tina. And she's a great agent. And if things go sideways, here's my card. Here's my card. And then I have had people say, I've been funny. I've said, are they out of town this weekend? Or are they not working today? Just to be funny. Sometimes you have to pick and choose the type of person that's going to receive that well, right? But if they're a serious person and that person's helped them, I go back to loyalty and I say, I know Tina, she's a great agent. I'm glad you're very loyal to her. If things go sideways, I'm here for you. I'm happy to build a relationship with you and earn your business. There's never going to be a situation where you don't change a dentist or change a doctor or change an accountant. All these things can happen. You move different spaces. You want a specialist. You make a rapport with somebody. All these things can happen. It can happen to me. It has happened to me. And I should not be angry when it happens. Someone else built a relationship with my person. The only time it doesn't happen is when you're married. Someone else shouldn't come into your marriage, right, and do that. But have they signed anything with that person? I also say something like, have you had a chance to has anybody offered to sit down with you for 15 minutes and do a full buyer consultation? And this is what happens to them. What? No, that's a thing? What? No. Or sometimes they're looking on their own. I say, has anyone offered to spend 15 minutes with you to talk through what the process looks like here in Atlanta? Because they moved from Oregon. When you offer things of value and you step back, you're not pushy. You're just opening up a curiosity button. So that's what we're looking to do, is open up a curiosity button. What are you looking to learn? How can you help them? I have people call me a week, a month, 6 months later. I did an open house for these kids that weren't looking to buy, and a year later they were like, we met you at the open house at that $1 million house we couldn't afford. We want to buy a $300,000 house. We kept your card, right? So my husband gives my cards out. You have to use all your advocates. There are probably 5 or 6 friends that you know that will hand out your cards. They're your walking billboard. You don't want to limit it to one thing. You got to go sideways on your lead gen, and you got to, like a big net, and grab as many people as you can. And some of those people will come towards you and some of them won't. I already know who my people are, right? I know what type of people are attracted to this type of energy on a day-to-day basis, because I'm in your life quite a bit when we go work together.
I like something you said. You said, has anyone gone over the process with you?
Has anyone ever offered to spend 15 minutes with you to go through the home buying process with you, or the home listing process, whatever you're trying to say? You say 15 minutes, people don't feel like it's overwhelming.
Because oftentimes we say buyer consult. Like, that's realtor talk. That's not what people are thinking about. Buying a house in Atlanta, selling a house in Atlanta.
Right, or just the buyer process. Has anyone offered to sit down with you and walk through the process of buying a house here in Atlanta? Has anyone offered to help you?
Or in this market, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
What's your average price point out there?
Oh, my personal price point, or in general? I think it's higher right now. I think it's like in the 5s. So I should have that number off the top of my hands. It's always steadily gone up, right? So I also am visualizing higher price points and working towards that. So visualization is step 1, right? That's like the mindset part. I've got to get skill set. So I've got to be better to serve people at a higher price point, and I've got to get action set. I've got to get in there and get some FaceTime with people that are in a higher bracket. I'm also making friends with financial planners and different people that are managing wealth. That's how I'm going to raise my price point.
I'm curious, as we wrap up right now, we have September, we have October, we have November, and we even have December. December will set us up for January, right? What are you telling your agents? What are you telling yourself? Because you're an operator who is in production. You're counting commissions as income, just like everyone else on the call. What are you telling yourself? What are you telling your agents, either mindset or skill set wise, for September, October, November, December?
Yeah. So one of the things we talk about is how do you want your December to be? What kind of Christmas do you want to have, and what kind of start to January do you want to have? So when we take a look at this, it's really about blocking their calendars. And I have access to all their calendars. I don't know if you do. And I can go in there and say, it doesn't look like you've blocked any time for this, or you've blocked any time for that. Based on your goals, you were going to do 2 open houses a month, but I don't see them on your calendar. And they get to see my calendar too. So I think one of the most important things is to decide how many weeks are left in the year, and say how many of those weeks, what are the bonus results you're going to get from those weeks that are going to lead into your actual physical, payment results. We control our behaviors. We control our decisions. But I'm not a fan of a lot of talk, Adelina. I'm a fan of some action. So if you tell me you're going to do something and then you don't do it, I'm going to be pretty annoyed. So just don't tell me. And if you are going to tell me, then do it. Just do it.
It looks like we have 12 weeks left.
I can't be an exceptional leader to marginal people. I think someone else said that on the call once.
I agree. We have 12 weeks. So this is our temporal landmark, because from next week until December 1st, we have 12 weeks to make an impact on this year, which is really, as far as I know, we all have bills, we all have dreams, right? We all have purpose that we want to work towards. Interesting. I love everything you said. I love that you're in a very strong price point. I love that you're out there just as much as us. Has your market softened at all?
It was softer, and it's a little bit hotter now, I'll tell you, for sure hotter. We are getting more requests. It's taking a little bit longer to go pending, but we are definitely getting more clients. People are coming out of the woodwork.
Why in your area? What's causing it?
I think people have settled in that we're probably not going to get a price drop, a rate drop. I think people are understanding that if they got to get something to happen, they're going to get it. I will say one thing about our area, and I think your area is the same. We are getting New York, California, Oregon, Washington. We're getting sort of the top corners of the United States want to come to Georgia, Florida, Texas, because we have a difference in how we do business or the amount of land you can get for the money, things like that. Certainly there's politics involved, right? But I have an open door policy. If anybody wants to move to Atlanta from these segments, let's go. And these people are getting twice as much for their money, right? Now Atlanta is very big, so we do all of Metro Atlanta. We'll go anywhere, but it is a very large area, so they have to figure out where they're going to land.
I want to end on that because what you said is so smart. So much of our quality business, outside of our referrals, right? Outside of the people that we already know that already trust us, so many people are moving into all of our areas, guys. How do you meet them? Man, get on the front line to those people. They are going to open houses. Meet them where they are. They're getting in their car, they're going to an open house, they're going to meet an agent. It's either going to be a really good agent or maybe not so good agent. I don't know about you guys, but in my area, the average agent sells 4 homes a year. Now, that's not a whole lot. Like, I wouldn't go to a surgeon that does 4 surgeries a year. Like, no offense, but I wouldn't, right? Like, I would not, like, if I had to have heart surgery tomorrow, there's no way I'm going to that surgeon, right? So it's up to you to show up for your own business, but it's up to you to make whatever market you're in. We're in a very soft market in Austin. Some of you guys are in a much better market. You got to do what you got to do right now because the bills still got to get paid. The dreams still have to be dreamt, right? We still have a lot to do. Will you pop your contact information in chat so that we can save you in our phone for Atlanta, for referrals, for questions, for scripting, for anything around that kind of life?
Yeah, and I'll give you a freebie, okay? All right. I'm going to give you guys a freebie. A lot of people are renting. Go into your MLS, go into the area that you want to be into, put a circle around what rentals have closed in the last 6 months, and go and do some drive-bys and door knock. Those are all renters, right? Those rentals closed in the last 6 months. Those people will buy. Guess who they won't buy with? The listing agent. Guess who does not nurture that relationship? The listing agent. You can put a little card on the door, one of those hanging things. Hi, I'm an agent who helps people buy. Has anyone offered to spend 15 minutes with you to talk about the home buying process here in Austin? That is a trick, okay? That I will only tell my tricks to people that I like. So you guys are cool. All right.
You know what I'm going to add to Karen's brilliant thing? If you want to control the quality of client, if you want to control the price point, just run it like, I don't know, $2,500 a month, $3,000 a month, whatever your area is. So you're going to amp up your chances of someone that can buy today versus 3 years from now. Now, if you have no business, you have plenty of time to build. You got a runway. But for those of you who are busy, maybe just do it at $3,000 plus. I'm going to go ahead and put Jeanette's class one more time in the chat box. If you are interested in expires and withdrawals, she is doing a training between 10 and 12 today. And it's for elevating your price point. Everything we are talking about is price points. Karen's talking about price points. Jeanette's talking about price points. I've been like on a price point like thing all year. Why? Guys, I don't remember who it is, but he says, if you want to make money, solve problems for people who have money. I'm telling you, if you want to increase your price point, start having your activities match the price point you want to work in. Those people then have friends who also are in that price point. You can go 12 months from now and have a completely different price point, a completely different financial structure. Now, none of this works if you don't work. And I'm talking 40, 50 hours a week. That is full-time, guys. Anything less, you're living in La La Land. I'm sorry. You're going to have to go get a job somewhere or go to some boutique that's going to promise you a higher split, and you're never going to get your business off the ground. It's just, we see it all day, every day. So 40, 50 hours a week of intentional work, multiple six figures a year. Love it. Thank you so much, Karen. We will see you next time. Will we see you anywhere in Arizona?
Absolutely. I'll be there on October 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, all the days.
Okay, I love it. Thank you so much, Karen. Guys, we will see you next week. Next week, we have some fun stuff coming up. Look for my email. How about that? I'm not going to tell you yet. We'll leave it for that. Thank you, Karen. We'll see you guys next time. Make the most of your 12 weeks coming up. Bye, guys.
Make it a great day. I'd love the recording when you get a chance, Adelina.
Happy to do it.